All right, I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Tyson Zahner. I am here with a very, very special guest today. I am going to interview a good friend of mine who is, first of all, this guy's the real deal, folks. If you don't know who this guy is, you've not heard of him before, I'm surprised. Probably means you're living under a rock. This guy is the #3 recruiter in his entire network marketing company, $1 million per year earner. The guy knows what he's talking about, and he showed me some stuff that he's been doing recently on social media, particularly on Snapchat, that he's just crushing it, recruiting people left and right. And I said, man, I got to get you on for a webinar and an interview maybe with my list, with my followers. And so he graciously agreed. And so what we're going to do in this particular video is I'm going to ask him to give you guys some of his best tips very quickly on this short interview on how to attract people to you and recruit people on social media, some things that you can do to start getting better results right now with social media and your lead generation and recruiting. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what you can do if you're brand new, if there's any social media platforms that are going to work better than others. We might even talk a little bit about following up and the best strategies for that. So first of all, thank you to my good friend and rock star, Cesar Rodriguez. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you. And big shout out back to you. You guys following Tyson, you guys are so fortunate and so blessed because I would have loved to have had a Tyson Zahner that I could have followed in my journey to the top, So thank you so much. And anytime I can do anything for you or your people, I'm all about it, brother. So let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. Let's do it. So listen, here's the deal. Before I get into the questions, I do want to announce very quickly that I am hosting a webinar that Cesar is going to do a massive training on with everything to do with how to recruit on Snapchat specifically. And that webinar is coming up on Sunday evening. That'll be Sunday night, the 17th. All you need to do to register is click the button that you see below this video, and you can get registered for that. It's a totally free training. I think you're going to love it. Now, before I ask Cesar these questions, some of you guys out there might be going, I don't know, Snapchat. I have to admit, I was in the same boat. When he told me, he's like, hey man, I've got a new product coming out on Snapchat and I'm doing a webinar. Would you be interested? Honestly, I was kind of like, I don't know, dude. I've got enough other things. I don't know if I need to learn one more social media network. And isn't Snapchat just kind of like for teenagers and stuff? I don't know if it's really for business people. And I have to say, when he showed me screenshots of what he's been doing, my jaw dropped. And it was funny, right after he showed me that, all of a sudden I started hearing all of these other people, big name marketers, people like Gary Vaynerchuk, people like John Lee Dumas, who is Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. Most of you have probably heard of him. Huge podcast for entrepreneurs. These guys are both saying, if you're not using Snapchat for your business, you are missing the boat. And so I have to admit, I was skeptical at first, but I have been sold, and I think you guys will be too after you attend the webinar. You're going to see how it can really impact your business. So let's dive in. And Cesar, let's just, not even necessarily just Snapchat, but what kind of tips can you give people just on how to attract people and how to recruit people on social media in general?
So I think the biggest secret when it comes to recruiting people on social media is you want to be very precise with your time. You want to, a lot of times, we go on, platforms like Facebook, and it's easy to just get swallowed in by the feeds of what's just broadcast in front of you, so you want to be very mission focused. And you want to seek out and target people that you want to talk to. And what you want to do is you want to do a little reconnaissance, if you will. You want to gather a little intel. So go to their page and find out what information that you could learn from their posts. So, if I was to try to recruit, someone like Tyson, for example, before I actually reached out to him, I would maybe watch him for I'd scroll down and watch him for a day or two and kind of see if he's posting anything that will give me a good icebreaker opportunity. And I'm looking for problems. I'm looking for anything that I could find that might give me a nice, smooth entry point into starting that conversation with them. So that way I'm not spamming him, so to speak. I'm literally entering the conversation that he's already started through his posts.
Oh, that's awesome. And, I'll kind of jump off of that and just say, probably one of the best tips I could give you when it comes to recruiting on social media is focus on starting a conversation with people and not on giving a presentation. So many people, they want to just throw up their opportunity all over somebody. and say, hey, look at my thing. We're ground floor. We're awesome. You got to get in now. And people are like, that pushes people away. They're like, I don't know. I don't know this guy. So focus on building the relationship first. Focus on, making a connection and having a conversation, because when you start to ask questions, people will start to tell you what problems they have in their life that your product or opportunity can then be a solution for. They'll tell you how to close them if you just hold off on, throwing up your opportunity all over them. Would you agree with that, Caesar?
Oh my God, that was beautiful. I love that little quote there, man. That was pretty smooth right there.
Killer, right?
Yeah, man. That's cool. Conversation versus present. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's ask this. What about for the person who is brand new? Because I know that there are going to be people on this webinar or even on this interview who are saying, Caesar, that's great for you that you can recruit people easily on social media. You're Caesar, you've earned $1 million in a single year, and you're the #3 recruiter. Of course, people want to work with you. You're an attractive character. What about me? I haven't recruited anybody. I'm brand new. I've just gotten started. I don't have any credibility. What can I do to start attracting leads to me and recruiting people when I don't have any credibility yet?
So it depends on the platform. When it comes to, so branding and positioning is kind of a big deal. So you can do some things to increase your branding and your positioning with people. Now, not just from your communication, just from a first impression standpoint. So like on Facebook, right? You can, get like better photos. I know you can, have a nice cover photo. You can start to do things that are going to brand you, that will help to give you that good first impression that people are looking for, so that people will presume that you are some type of authority, of some sort. And then of course, if you are strategically posting, see a lot of people on social media, they just post whatever. But when you start to learn how to post strategically, the way that I teach, you can actually stack, certain things that you're actually doing in such a way that people start to feel at an unconscious level that they, know, like, and trust you and want to do business with you.
So are there any advantages that Snapchat as a platform offers over something like Facebook or Twitter or some of these other platforms?
Okay.
What are some of the advantages that a new person might have on Snapchat over something else?
So that's one of the things that got me so excited about Snapchat when I first, started to look at it from a business sense. When I threw away all of my, preconceived notions, just like you had. I mean, when I first heard of Snapchat, I was like, dude, please tell me it sucks, because I don't have time for another social media thing. Like, is this like one of those things, like when Twitter first came out, everyone's like, who cares what you ate for breakfast? Like, am I gonna have to like post everything that I do? Like I see some people doing, and I didn't see the business value at first, but then when I really dug into it as a marketer and as a veteran network marketer, I really loved it because of the fact that some of the things that I just said, I said, hey, branding, getting, headshots and stuff like that to really make yourself look professional. I mean, that kind of costs money. It takes time. You have to hire designers if you want to do that stuff on, on like Facebook, for example. What I liked about Snapchat is there is none of that. Nobody can prejudge you based on how many views that you're getting on your videos or anything like that, or how many likes you have on your page. So like if you set up a fan page, someone can look at how many likes you have right off the bat and say, okay, wow, you've got 100 likes. You're still not doing it. You're not.
You mean on something like Facebook, you're saying?
Yeah, like on Facebook. Yeah. Someone can look at you and be like, yeah, you're still not getting it done. Or, and you don't have to, like on Snapchat, you can literally whip out your phone, set up an account, and in one day, you don't look any different presentation wise from the next person. So instead of, because all the videos are just shot from right within your phone, you don't have to compete against the guys that, have professional photographers, right, to take fancy headshots and frame and do all that type of stuff, because everything's just shot right off of your camera phone. So I call it the great equalizer, because you setting up a Snapchat account today, like if you are brand new, Tyson, and I've had an account forever, nobody knows that like you're not a guru and that like you can't tell. It's all about how you compose yourself. So if you're branding yourself and posting strategically on Snapchat the way that I teach, it's lightning fast, and it's like literally overnight. You could go from not having ever used the app before to, if you know how to use it strategically the way that I teach, to looking just like a rock star like anyone else, without having to spend money on fancy photography, without having to have cover banners and like all kinds of stuff like that. And then the other thing is, no one can see how many people are actually liking your stuff. So I could set up an account today, and this is why I put my whole team on this and why I was so excited about this platform. I was like, oh my God, like there's no prejudging. You don't know, like you as a new person, setting up an account on Snapchat and starting to use it properly. Nobody knows that you don't have 1,000 people watching you.
Right.
They don't know that it's 2 people watching you because you just set up your account yesterday. If you know how to post correctly and you compose yourself, they can't tell the difference. So I really like that about that platform because it strips away a lot of the advantages that like a guru would have versus someone just being brand new. Like a brand new person and a guru could literally be seen in the same exact light overnight with no money.
So on the webinar, are you going to share with some people, especially if they're new, what they can do to position themselves correctly so that they do look credible, even if they don't have a lot of followers or a lot of likes on their posts and so forth?
Yeah, so I'm going to go on the webinar. I'm going to share a lot of not just the whys, but even the how-to to prospect. So I'm going to share like actual, and I'm going to reveal like one-liners, and I'm going to give you examples and say, hey, look, like if you see this, then here's, how you approach this type of person. So, I talked earlier, on your first question, which is about like, what would I do to prospect on social media? Well, back in the day, I used to have to like, if I wanted to try to recruit someone and I want intelligently, I'd have to like type in their name in the search box and then like look at their posts and like study and look for a couple days. Like now, the other reason why I really like Snapchat and why I've become so enamored with it is because it's so easy. You just click on someone's name, and if you don't understand the app, like it plays everything that they've done for the past 24 hours without having to type in their name, search around. So like you can instantaneously just get information for it. So I teach how to do that. I teach some of the lines. I give examples like, hey, if you see this, use this line. So that way you can approach people without being and coming across as salesy or weird or anything like that. And literally I teach how to get people to invite you to actually pitch them, which is a pretty cool technique that I like using.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so let's just finish with one last question, and then I know Caesar's going to kind of cover everything else on the webinar. So the last question, let's talk about follow-up. I get a lot of people that ask me, how do I follow up? What about, I hate following up. I know it's a pain in the neck. You too?
The worst. I'm the worst, man.
I hate following up with people. I mean, especially, it's like getting on the phone and like, hey, did you look? Did you take a look at the presentation? What'd you like about it? And doing the follow-up process, is there anything about, do you have any strategies for following up on social media that makes it easier on somebody?
So, it's funny you say that. And I'm just like looking at like stacks of business cards that I've collected of people that I've, probably called one time, if even that, because it's just like, I don't have a long time ago, Tyson, I found out that follow-up was my weakness. It's just my personality is not to be that organized and have spreadsheets and to operate complex CRMs. It's just not how I'm wired. Right. So what I did figure out is I said, if I get really good at prospecting, meaning getting people into my funnel, and then I get really good at closing, then I won't have to follow up, because if I can just close them the first time, I won't have to be like, hey, did you, what are you thinking about it? So I learned, how to just get rid of think about it objections. And, we've talked before about my immediate yes formula, that closing training that I put together that teaches people how to get, people to say yes immediately without objection. So that's kind of my forte. On social media follow-up, what I really like about social media nowadays is it can kind of do a little bit of your follow-up depending on the platform. Again, because I'm talking about Snapchat here with you on a webinar, one of the things that I've really loved about Snapchat is it allows people to see you in a different light than they do on any other social media platform. It's just realer. And because of that, the two things that people buy, all right, really, it's you and lifestyle. And if you learn how to project, yourself in a favorable way, and you know how to project the lifestyle that can be lived if people, do what you do, join your business, or whatever, then you can kind of let your social media do the following up for you. So now my new funnel is when I meet someone, I am hoping to God that they're on Snapchat. And if they're not, I'm telling them why they need to be, just simply so that they can follow me. And then my follow-up is done. On this webinar, you'll see actual case studies where I've literally learned to automate my follow-up through my social media presence. That's so now awesome. I just plug people in, they see what I'm doing like on Snapchat, and instead of me having to call them back, they're reaching out to me saying, hey, when are you going to call me back? Like, hey, I know you said you were going to call me. So they're calling me and signing up now. And that's never happened on any other social media platform. So it's truly powerful. That's kind of why I'm excited about it. And actually we'll show that too. On the webinar, so I've got an entire section that just shows the case studies and how to use this specifically to do your follow-up. Because yeah, bro, I'm just like you, man. I I hate follow up. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the phone unless someone's like, you know, ready to join.
Right. Right. That's awesome. Well, listen, I know Caesar's like crazy busy right now. He's in the middle of a huge launch for his Snapchat recruiting training course. And he's got a webinar tonight, a few more. So let me just sign off by saying a couple of things. First of all, thanks for watching this interview. I hope you got some value from it. Click the button below to register. Now, I do want to say you're probably going to see a lot of people promoting Caesar's training, his in-depth course on Snapchat. Now, listen, whether you want to buy Caesar's course on Snapchat or not, you're going to get a ton of value from the webinar. If you decide that you do want to dive deeper with Caesar and really have him show you step by step exactly what to do with Snapchat to help you start recruiting and attracting people, I would urge you that you might want to hold off on ordering until you attend my webinar. And here's why. I've got a crazy awesome bonus for anybody who buys through my link. If you have ever had any trouble overcoming objections, so yeah, you're going to learn how to attract people to you. But if you've ever gotten on the phone with them and they're like, I don't know, I don't have the money, or I don't think I have the time, or I need to go do my research first. Anybody ever heard those things? I have a course called Objection Obliteration. This is a course that sells on my website every single day. I'm giving it away absolutely free to anybody who buys Caesar's course through my affiliate link. And that is once again, you don't have to buy Caesar's course. You could just buy my course by itself, but you get it for free if you want to get Caesar's course through my link. So attend the webinar. I think you're going to get a ton of value out of it anyway. And then if you decide you want to dive deeper, you'll get my course for free to help you overcome every objection you ever encounter. All right. So Caesar, thank you again so much for taking some time out of your day. I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Let me just say one last thing. If you happen to be watching this interview after April 17th, we are going to try to record this webinar, and I will put up a replay page that you can opt in for. But the replay will only be up until probably like Wednesday the 20th. So make sure that even if you're watching this interview after the 17th for some reason, as long as it's before the 20th, you should be able to still catch the replay. Just click the button and it'll take you to a replay page instead of the live webinar registration. All right. Caesar, thanks again. Any final thoughts?
You know, yeah, I do have, I will just say this, you know, anything that I do, any training that I put together, you know, the number one focus is always value in training. So if someone's watching this right now and you're thinking, oh, is he just going to be a webinar so he can sell me something? It's really not. That's just like an additional option. I've had so many people that have gone through this training and said, this is literally like the best training that I've ever seen on social media recruiting, period. So, you know, again, come ready to have fun. All right. I'm a pretty lighthearted guy. It's a fun webinar. And, you know, you can leave your wallet at home, so to speak. You know, you don't have to be scared. Like, is it just going to be him selling me? I mean, it's just straight up value. And then I just say, hey, for those of you, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, you know, there's just another option for you. So it won't be for everyone, you know, but, you know, I'm just looking forward to helping you guys to just, you know, get your social media game right and, do some recruiting, man, because we're having a ton of fun over here, and it's almost too easy. And I want to share this with my marketing friends. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live on the webinar.
Okay. Caesar, thanks again, man. Everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Click the link below right now. Get yourself registered, and we'll talk soon. Bye.